This is the story of the year 1812, when a Swiss adventurer was passing through the Arabian desert disguised as a local. This adventurer, Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, lost his way and found himself in a narrow path between towering rocks. For nearly 1.5 kilometers he walked between the cliffs, until finally the path widened, and in front of him appeared a magnificent structure carved into a limestone mountain. Located in southern Jordan, this ancient monument raised a burning question. Who built it in this desolate desert valley, and why? Standing 127 feet tall, it wasn't constructed brick by brick, it was carved directly into the rock. Today, in Arabic, it is called Al-Khazna, meaning the treasury, the place where treasures are kept. Massive pillars rise from the base of the mountain, topped with delicately carved designs. A grand entrance leads to a chamber inside, but this chamber has no decorations, only the raw, natural beauty of stone. The adventurer was stunned by the sight and decided to go deeper into the rocks. Perhaps he was on the verge of uncovering a lost city. Further ahead, he discovered a theater carved entirely from stone, large enough to seat 6,000 people. A pathway led to what looked like a massive temple. Ruins scattered around hinted that a once thriving city had stood here. High up in the mountains, he saw several other monuments. Burckhardt had stumbled upon the ruins of a city of immense historical importance. A city 2,000 years old, today known as Petra. But the questions remained. How did its people survive in this barren desert without water? Why did they carve their buildings into the rock? What was their purpose here? And most importantly, why did they abandon it all? Welcome once again to iFlare Video. When the Swiss adventurer witnessed all this, he recalled the story of a desert tribe. He had heard of a people who lived in the Arabian desert, trading silk and spices between China, India, Egypt, and Rome. They were said to hide their treasures by carving holes into high cliffs. Greek and Roman sources called them the Nabataeans. 2,000 years ago, they were famous as nomads who lived in tents in the desert. But how did tent dwellers manage to build a city as grand as Petra? After Burckhardt's discovery, Petra began to gain international attention. Archaeologists and historians from around the world rushed to solve its mystery. After all, a 127-foot high monument carved from solid stone was no ordinary feat. Surely workers must have used scaffolding, like the wooden frames you see around modern construction sites. But strangely, there were no traces of scaffolding or any other marks on Petra's monuments that could explain their construction. After years of research, scholars finally found the answer in an incomplete structure at Petra. It revealed that the Nabataeans carved their monuments from the top down. They would climb to the top of the cliff, cut a horizontal shaft into the limestone, stand inside it, and carve out pillars and designs while working downward. As the structure took shape, the rubble piled up below, creating a slope they could use to finish carving the lower half. This unique construction method has not been found anywhere else in the world. Researchers confirmed it when they recreated Petra's techniques in America and carved a replica in the same style. The Nabataeans left very little writing behind. Only a few inscriptions in Aramaic script were found. One of them read, "Asterisk, this tomb is sacred. Nothing inside should ever be moved or changed. Asterisk, but inside that chamber, there were only shelves, likely used to hold dead bodies." In fact, over 800 burial chambers have been discovered in Petra's cliffs. At first, archaeologists thought Petra was merely a vast cemetery. But later evidence showed clear signs of daily life. During its golden age, Petra was home to between 20,000 and 30,000 people. But how could such a large population survive in the middle of a desert? The answer lay in their brilliant water engineering. At Petra's great temple, holes in the floor suggested an underground water system. Using ground-penetrating radar, researchers discovered an entire network of channels beneath the city, like hidden plumbing. This proved Petra had an underground water supply system. But the question was, where did the water come from? The desert around Petra is one of the driest places on Earth. Yet 8 kilometers away lies a natural spring called Ain Musa, the Spring of Moses. The Nabataeans somehow transported water across the desert through pipes carved into the rocks. On Petra's narrow entrance walls, traces of ancient pipelines can still be seen. These pipelines were made of small sections joined together. Naturally, such joints would leak. But the Nabataeans were no ordinary engineers. Modern hydroengineering experiments proved that if a pipe is tilted at exactly 4 degrees, no air pockets form inside, preventing leaks and maintaining strong water flow. And astonishingly, Petra's pipelines were angled at exactly 4 degrees. This means the Nabataeans understood principles of fluid dynamics 2,000 years before modern science rediscovered them. It is clear they were masters of hydraulic engineering. Petra's water came not just from Imusa, but also from flash floods rushing down the mountains. To protect their city, the Nabataeans built at least 5 massive dams, some of which still stand today after 2,000 years. These dams stored water and shielded Petra from deadly floods. So now we know. The Nabataeans traded between great civilizations, carved masterpieces into stone, and engineered water systems unlike anything else in the world. But the greatest question still remains. Why was Petra abandoned? Ancient records tell us that in the year 363 AD, a devastating earthquake struck. Ruins in Petra show clear evidence of collapse caused by violent tremors. The earthquake destroyed dams and shattered the water system. The very floods that once gave life to Petra now drowned it. The city was swept away, and what remained slowly crumbled into ruins. Trade routes shifted, and survivors migrated to other cities. Petra became a forgotten ghost city buried in history. It wasn't until 1985 that Petra was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And if you've seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the Temple of the Holy Grail was none other than Petra's Al-Khazna. We hope you enjoyed this journey through history. Don't forget to like and share this video. Your support and kind comments mean the world. See you in the next thrilling episode.